This is Jay Todd, and you're listening to Pastor Denczil on Glory 93.9 FM.
Good afternoon, everybody. Hope you're doing well. It is, what's happening today? 5:30 on a beautiful Monday afternoon. Hope you all are doing well. This wonderful Monday is the day after Sunday, and it's the day that Jesus died. Let's establish that right up front. But this is when we decided to do the show. I don't know why we decided to do the show on this day, but this day we do the show every week on Monday, and we're so glad that you locked in. Of course, those of you that would typically listen to us by way of the FM band on Glory 93.9, you would be aware that we are not up. And the reason being, the components are here, all the parts are here, and now trying to find someone. And if you want to volunteer to do so, we need somebody to climb a 120-foot tower. So if you feel towerish, you feel like making the climb, Pastor Rickeno, anybody you know, want to just, or you yourself, back in your old days, used to be.
What are you paying?
You got to come down. You go up and come down first.
No. Before I go up, you got to negotiate. Thank you, my dear. You got to negotiate going up there first.
You got to go up and come down?
No.
And then we can talk about that.
I see what you're looking for, a fool. Look for nobody with sense. You, in your mind, you're saying anybody go up here don't have no sense. So no.
Yeah, so we are still trying to get some things sorted out. We have gotten the things in and spent quite a whole lot of money to get some stuff here, and now we still have to do some other things, and we're trying to get all that sorted out. So please bear with us. We will have that resolved as soon as we can get the technician and those persons now to make the call. As you can tell, our Glory 93.9 staff, we live healthily. We have healthy lives, and none of us on staff outside the tree are tower climbing ish. We're that kind of people.
Understood.
Yeah. So I'm gonna say no more than that. Anyway, man, I don't know if I was just talking to Pastor Rickeno off here, and it might have spilled on while the music was playing in the background, that there's a kind of unfortunate situation that's happening down there in Agua with these migrants from Haiti, our brothers and sisters from down there. And I bring this up. This is an interesting conversation among preachers. On the one side, how do you balance that? And I don't know. I know we had coffee. Well, I ain't doing no coffee, but I don't know if we even ready have the energy to deal with this whole scenario. How do you balance the idea of being our brother's keeper and taking care of our brothers and sisters with the your sovereign the sovereignty of the nation and protecting the borders and all that. How do you balance that? You know, as pastors, I don't think there's a pastor nowhere in the country that does not have that mixed congregation where we have Bahamians, we have Haitian Bahamians, and we have Haitians. And in addition to other nationalities, but let's focus on our brothers and sisters from Haiti now. There's especially in those of us with younger congregations. I think the numbers, and I've never done a study, but just talking to fellow pastors, the numbers are high of persons of Haitian descent in our congregations. Some that are not documented, I'm sure. Some that are. How do we balance that with that Christian love, that brotherly love? Honestly, that's something that I'm usually quiet on when it comes up in conversation, because I don't even know how do you balance it. I don't know.
Have you ever had a desire to do something to help somebody but just couldn't?
Yeah.
I think the conversation has to start from a place of the heart behind it, the will behind it, et cetera, et cetera. Because based on the situation, I don't know if you want to give the listeners more context.
Well, I think persons. I think there's this influx of migrants that are in Inagua as we speak, and I'm hearing numbers over 300. So I mean, some say over 400, which we're looking at is pretty much more than half the population of the island.
Right.
More than half.
And more than the resources they have available for
Absolutely.
that kind of thing is
Definitely.
able to handle.
Especially a place like Inagua, that these family islands depend on these mailboats. That mailboat leaves, whenever it comes and leaves, there are days before it gets back there again with supplies, groceries, whatever the case is. So it's definitely going to eat out their resources, for lack of a better word.
Sure.
Quick.
Right.
Yeah, So you're saying that you want to do, but you can't.
I think there's a way desire, purity of heart, and will influence your action and reaction to your inability to help and assist someone. That I'm not saying it minimizes the impact of their situation and circumstance. But
Hold on. I see some people typing online. This can't be right. Are y'all telling me that the population of Inagua is over 900? Are y'all telling me the amount of immigrants that are on the island is now over 900 that have gotten there? Please tell me that ain't right. Because I'm basing what I'm saying on news I got first thing this morning. From last night, really. My information from last night. I haven't gotten any updates for the day. I'm kind of busy all day. Hold on, Christopher sent me something here. Let me say this. Oh, wow. This is supposed to be from one of the news outlets that says just over 900 Haitian migrants are in custody and set to be repatriated, according to Minister of Labor and Immigration, Keith Bell.
that's specifically talking about Inagua.
That's all of them are in Inagua, y'all? That's Inagua. Wow. That means that's doubling the population.
Pardon me?
That's double the population.
What is the population?
800 to 900. Bahamians living in Inagua.
And it's
Bahamians and
900
residents.
Haitians, right?
And now it's
as
900.
much as the population.
It's as much as the population. Wow. What? Jesus, Lord have mercy. What is the Christian response? Oh, you get any stuff now? You get fancy now? You straight now? You see any comments?
Yeah.
I see reading.
So get used to this now. I'm a little distracted. So gotta get used to it.
At least now you can see what I be dealing with.
To think.
Now you can see what I be dealing with.
I used to
You know, to keep the conversation balanced.
501 in Inagua, Paulie Johnson is saying.
All right.
In any event,
someone is cautioned. I mean, there's always the caution of we got to make sure we be Christian in our response. What is the Christian response?
I can't give you no definite answer on that.
Oh, me, I only talking.
I just saying. All I could tell you is I think it begins with having a heart and a will to, which is the Christian thing to do. But sometimes I fall short, and I gotta feed my own first. I have a Christian responsibility to my own. All right. And as best I can, you try to do your best to secure anybody else. But I have a Christian responsibility to who God has given you directly first. I think it's the same principle of love your neighbor, you love yourself.
Love yourself first.
You gotta love yourself.
And that's the foundation for you to love your neighbor.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Indeed. In fact, my love for my neighbor should be a reflection of my love for myself. And these are real issues we have to grapple with, and you have to be true to your own self, because people will make you feel guilty for what you didn't do for them. When in fact, I have to be true. I just couldn't.
Right.
I have to be true to me. I had personal responsibilities. I had other priorities, et cetera, et cetera. In a situation where your need may be more dire than mine, I would make a decision maybe to make a sacrifice there, but I have to be true to my own self. That's not being selfish. That's being honest.
Okay. Now, man, Mark, well, you see it now. The clarity is that it's 501 in Nagua and 400 in Exuma. That's a load on it. That's a load
on Nagua, especially
on Nagua. That's a major load. Wow. I hear people grandstanding about fixing the immigration issue, and I don't know, when you stretch over these all these miles of water, with being, how do you police all of this? How do you manage all of this? People love to make these statements. Oh, we need to this, we need to that. And
if it was that simple, even more developed nations wouldn't be having as much issues with immigration as they are having. It's not that simple.
Exactly.
But people who ain't dealing with it always oversimplify.
Yeah. I was since I started pastoring, having to deal with some more things head on, dealing with undocumented individuals that are born and bred in this country, can't get passports, can't get bank accounts. Let's leave passport alone. Can't get a bank account, can't get a driver's license, can't get all these different things. And I will say this. You know what? Let me say this, and those who get upset. That's fine. I've met 20 people from that community that are not knowledgeable of the system, and that bothers me. I'm meeting a lot of 18 and 19 and 20-year-olds that are knowledgeable of what the process is, or what the documents they should have, and the things they should be mobilizing. So
when you say that,
by the time they get 18,
that bothers you about them?
Yes.
Okay.
They're ignorance in that regard. Now I don't know. I don't know.
You mean by that you blame them for being callous?
It bothers me.
Like, I'm trying to figure out where that's going.
It bothers me because my thing is that we know the challenges that are in the system for those of that community. There are all kinds of challenges. To me, and there will be persons who don't pay attention, but to me, the average young man, young lady born to Haitian parents, who was born in Princess Margaret, somewhere born here and grew up here, they should know by age 18 they should make certain applications. Sure. They should know that. They should know that
and
their
responsibility is to make sure they know that.
I'm blaming that community. That community. The leaders of that community should make sure that these children know these things. I've found in so many instances that we're having to walk young I don't even like saying Haitian Bahamians because they're Bahamians. I know legally they're not, but all they know is this country. But having to walk them through certain steps that I'm saying they should have known this.
Right.
Like, they're totally clueless. And in many instances, their parents got some things straight or whatever, know something. How is this? And you know how I go. You disagree with me. But I like blame things in the church.
I don't see how the church is culpable for that at all.
Because the church is a gathering of people. We should be informing people.
Yeah, and we informing who we called to and who we dealing with. There's issues around here that you can't take responsibility for as life worship center. I mean, unless you're telling me you're not doing all that you can, and sometimes you are, you just ain't Jesus. And even Jesus, when he was here in the flesh, could not heal everybody and save everybody. So I know we have the superhero syndrome every now and then as the church, but we are still kind of limited in our capacity. That's why everybody needs Jesus for themselves.
Y'all can beat on me if y'all want. Go ahead and beat on me. I'll take the blow for this one.
Yeah.
But I'm saying this: if I believe if Rickeno Monka
Yes.
was pastoring a congregation of Bahamians in America,
Mm-hmm.
persons who migrated from the United States of America, and you're in the United States and you're pastoring that congregation, I believe there are certain things that you would make sure they knew.
Yes, of course.
And that's what I'm talking about. And I'm
but all
not
these
saying they're
people-
not doing it. I'm not saying they're not.
Yeah.
I'm just saying I hope they are. I hope it's
No, because
happening.
there's a major energy there from the leadership. Then they fight hard for their situation. But all those people are all those persons in church.
Man, a lot are.
Well, I don't know if that's speculation or facts. I just saying.
I never drove past.
But
I've never drove past.
Yes.
A church for my Haitian brothers and sisters.
Yes.
And it ain't full.
Okay, so
The capacity.
yes, so I from what I'm saying, what's his name? The I guess I've forgotten the name of the pastor who championed these causes for the Haitian community.
Yeah.
But I know for a fact, man, that's a strong movement they have going on. They're doing
Definitely.
everything they
Definitely.
can
There's a strong movement.
to help them.
Yeah.
And so those who and you gotta understand, some people are irresponsible, some people aren't in church. And my thing is this: I could create the hub for help, but you gotta want it and come.
Yeah.
Now, some children fall through the cracks because of their parents. But there's a number of different issues involved there that isn't as simple as, oh, the church should make sure. I think they're doing a whole lot.
When I cast in blame, I can start with the church. And from the standpoint of, I just say blame. Let me reword it. Let me say start casting blame. I think you said it in your responses
Right.
now. That I hope we're doing what we could do.
Yes.
As the church.
Yes.
Realizing that we have. Let me give an example. I every now and again I end up putting heat on my auxiliary leaders. I put heat on them, my ministers, because they say they need to get the people together. I need to talk. I said, what's happening? But I had a meeting with them because I call a meeting and they don't show up. I call a meeting, they don't show up. I say, but y'all can cost me, hate somebody.
Right.
Why, Pastor? Everybody's be on Sunday.
Yes.
Grab them when they be here. If you know they can be on Sunday, you grab them.
Totally agree.
You touch them as soon as service is done.
Right.
I need to see all over by the car right away.
Right.
There need to be nothing deep. Grab them, get them by the car, and have that conversation. My thing is, where the people are gathering, let's get them.
Yes.
When we have them, I know for sure
Yes.
I got them in this space. Get them.
Right. Right.
You know, and it may be happening.
Yeah. The challenge though sometimes is, that auxiliary leader so need their word too on Sunday.
No, but I'm a church.
I agree. I totally agree because I say the same thing.
I'm
But
a church.
sometimes there's need their time to just get their little situation.
You can't be on the floor today. You need to get up on the floor and you need to get outside that door and grab people.
Totally agree. Get up off that floor.
Yeah.
But Rev, sometimes
I need the floor today.
I need the floor today, or I can knock somebody on the floor. And then when I knock them out, you on my back again. I got to choose which one I can take a licking from you for.
Yeah, but I am. It's painful to me and having to deal with it. You know of these things just existing in society, but when you get in leadership like we are as pastors and hear these things and like I've had to ask persons questions, young men, young ladies questions, and they're clueless. And I'm saying, like, how come you don't know this? How come you don't know this? How come you don't have this? Have you applied as your name in the system yet at immigration? No, you can apply though. You can do that. You can literally and
I think that's how it works. But I mean, Bahamians don't know their rights and situations. The system is not a perfect system. It's a broken system. Now, I do agree the church got to affect some change, but I think we don't give the church enough credit for all it's doing. I learned something. Gratitude produces increase. Gratitude, an environment of gratitude. Because, I mean, the church could be doing far more if we had more people who appreciated what we were doing. Because we are doing a whole lot, my friend.
You are really a bishop.
The only
you're a champion of the Lord's
fight
church.
for the church.
Fight for the Lord's church.
But I know enough about what you do
right
to know and say the church is doing a whole lot. But we can't take responsibility for, especially in a generation who is anti-church.
Oh boy.
And everybody always putting, the church need to do more, the church need to do more, the church this, the church that. Most of them don't tithe. Most of them don't come. Most of them, if they give, they get put $1 in the bucket.
Right.
You are the church, when you say, the church culpable, you thinking the Rev culpable. You are the church.
Let me get some comments here.
Because some of you was either in church or now you out of church. And when you was in church, you wasn't doing nothing. Now that you out church, you ambassador church, but you are a reflection of whatever the issues of the church are. Because when you was there, you did nothing yourself,
You
and it
had
wasn't
nobody.
due to ignorance. No.
Mm. Yes, I agree 100%. That's Nayoshi about, I mean, what needs to be done in the community. It is true, Bishop. They know, but they are afraid.
That's another thing. That's a very good point.
Let me, I may be naive here. I may be ignorant, either naive or ignorant. But in the case of the younger ones who need to go and apply, they were born here.
They still live with a fear though, because you don't know, and you hear so many stories
So you're scared to go
of
apply.
mistreatment. Yes, that's still a real issue. And whether it's true or not, the perception is there, and that becomes their reality.
I agree with you, Bishop. 18 is a great age. But I think that's not the great. I think that's the age.
That's the age you have to apply.
You have to apply. Oh wow! Send them back home and take up an offering.
That's trust in the Lord.
Yeah, they think they trust in the Lord. But who's the, I mean, so who you talking about now? You talking about the folks down in Inagua? Or you don't? Which ones you talking about? Or you talking about in general the folks who come to our churches? Jody's asking is fair factor, and I guess someone just spoke to that.
But she said send them home and then take them offering. She said take them offering and send them home.
we was do Western Union the offering to them. Help us, Lord.
Send them first, then take them to offering.
Maybe it's easier to stay close than run the risk of being deported.
It's a fair, real fair.
But I need somebody to help my ignorance, because I'm thinking about the younger ones who were born here that are allowed at a certain age to apply.
What are the parents gonna teach them if the parent is afraid?
So you saying the parent don't know?
Not only in some cases they may be afraid, but this whole issue of being, I mean, not know, but in this whole issue of being afraid to go and do these things, if the parent is afraid of the system, they pass it on to the child. All right, even though listen, we ain't living in no idealistic world. So even though there's a system of the way these things should happen and they should be dealt with fairly, if their experience is being, there's a way it's supposed to be dealt with, but that's not the way I was dealt with. I was spoken to a certain way, dealt with a certain way. There's an apprehension even in the children. Even you ever hear Bahamian saying, "Man, the man, I hate the man because the man." They hate the system, and that fear produces a level of animosity, and of course, it's going to produce apprehension and reluctance in going in and making those applications.
The Christian response is to send them back home. We are in a pandemic, and Abaco and Grandmama is still left devastated. Bishop Roll and Monka, our Christian nation kindness is taken for granted. We allowed this to go on for far too long. To repatriate them is a big blow to the treasury. I know Haiti is hurting, but so many of us are hurting as well. What'd you say that?
Huh?
What'd you say to that? Next comment?
Next comment.
Hey, Portia says, yes, the church is hugely responsible for not standing in the gap.
Which I disagree with.
Now, Bishop, I don't agree with the church. Monko, you right. Okay, Peggy. Let the church take up some offering and pay for them to go back home.
And people right now, church is hungry.
So the Department of Immigration personnel is also to blame, especially those who are asking for money from these people on the side and still not helping. Now that is true.
It's a system.
Y'all want to put this on the church too? This is unfair. Like saying the pastor preaching repent and judgment day, people holler, "Oh, I didn't know." Let me say what I'm saying about Nayoshi. What I'm saying about the church, I'm saying in communities, and I want to say this, in communities like, especially like this migrant community, the church is really like the resource center
for this community.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
you know, it's like for them, and again, I'm totally ignorant here, and I have some wonderful friends that are pastors in the Haitian community. So this is not knocking them at all, and so I'm speaking totally from ignorance, and I'm saying hoping this is not the case.
Right.
I'm hoping that it's not the case. Let me make sure I made that clear. But it's something, the church in those communities is like the church back in the days of the suffrage movement, back in the days prior to majority rule. And the church was the hub. And that's why the powers that be knew that if I don't get the people, they get through the church, because that's where they gather. And I think in those communities, it's functions like how it did for us 50, 60 years ago.
No, I don't think in every case though. Like there's a good percentage of them who go to church, but there's a good percentage of them who don't. And I want you to know there's a good percentage of them who are very entitled, have the wrong attitude, have the wrong spirit, etc., etc. They don't appreciate the fact that you were born into some interesting circumstances. So the way you approach this, you need to be a bit careful about that and use some wisdom, because this ain't just a bunch of people who in every case are hurting. Now you have some very good ones, but I mean, they are hurting, but some of them have the wrong attitude about it.
A sense of entitlement again.
Yes. So it's even, and so people, some payments go, I got to work in this system and deal with some of these people and the way their attitude are. And sometimes they get the wrong, our people ain't always professional. They sometimes personal, So, I mean, even in that community, there's a certain attitude, mindset, etc., that I think needs to be addressed, that kind of tempers them in the way that they go about dealing with it. And I meet some amazing Haitians, but in some other cases, I'm seeing some temperaments and some attitudes and some, a little aggression that I think they need to consider, being that they are in a foreign country. Even if you were born here, your circumstances was not necessarily legitimate.
It's a delicate
It
balance.
is a delicate
It's a delicate balance.
But I think we have to also be very honest and truthful.
Yeah.
And that may hurt. That may leave some blood on the ground. But I think if we're going to get to a place of resolution, let's be honest and have a real conversation.
I think, and it's not, and this is not cancel out. This one, I'm only adding to the equation.
Sure.
There is the contribution of the xenophobia in this country, this elitist mindset, from the standpoint that the poor Bahamian, on average, believes they are better than the affluent Haitian.
I agree.
See, that stigma where you're just superior, that has lent a lot and added to this anger and the aggression
of the Bahamian or the
Haitian?
of
the Haitian.
Okay.
Where they've been so insulted, so dealt with as though they're less than, they're not human.
Sure.
And just as you mentioned how the fear is cast down, the anger is passed down to the next generation as well.
Yes, it is.
The anger of like, I'm still a human though.
Yes.
Totally
agree.
As people. And this treating of our Haitian brothers and sisters like they're chattel is it has to be factored into this whole entitlement thing too.
I agree.
Because it could be like, enough is enough, man. And then you have to say, hold on, but you ain't home.
Right.
Yeah, but in the equation too.
Right.
But it's oh God, it's so many more.
So on both ends,
yes,
you have to have some real conversation.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There's a stigma attached to being a foreigner. They're being dehumanized. The same point again. To every day, which must have an effect on their mindset and shape what they do. Got to give Pastor Morgan some time to think on that comment, Bishop. That was a lot. It was a lot. Hey, Pastor Don Clark, what's happening, my brother? Good to see you. I hope that's Pastor. I said Don Clark, Pastor. I hope that's Pastor. I can't see a picture. That's Pastor?
I think that's it.
All right, Pastor. Could that be a defense mechanism? Which one, Jody? Pastor Monk, I agree with you. Those Haitian churches needs to step in and help their own as well. These Haitian churches always full every week. That means you agree with me, I'm Johnny. and listen, and they may be doing their part.
Oh yeah,
they may be doing their part. I don't know, but I think whenever you can, if you want to call in, the number to call is 828. Hold on, wait a minute. Let me make sure this line in. This the right line? Hold on, Peggy. I think that's the line there. Yeah, the number to call is 828-3543. That's the number to call, 828-3543. If you want to call in, please feel free to do that. 828-3543. I think I should be scrolling on. I don't know how to make things scroll. If I try to make it scroll, I may mess up something. Yeah, I can do that. just someone type the number so they can get it. 828-3543. Oh, no, it's calling right away. Hello, welcome to 101 Pastor Denczil, Pastor Rickeno. Hold on, I can't hear my caller. Hello? Why can't I hear my caller? Caller, give me a second. Wonder what I do wrong. Let me try this one. Caller, you
Hello.
there? Hey, caller, how you doing?
I'm here.
Awesome.
I'm fine, thank you. Good evening, gentlemen. How
Good
are
evening.
you?
We're doing wonderful.
Okay, Hello, y'all can hear me?
Loud and
we
clear.
got you.
Loud and clear.
Okay. So I'm calling in reference to this church thing. I really have a problem with this because I was literally in a conversation earlier today regarding this.
Mm-hmm.
Normally when stuff like this happens, the church is normally the first ones to reach out, especially in those communities,
Sure.
like in Agua. The church would be the first point that even the immigration or the fence force officers would reach out to the pastors to say you could get some persons together to do whatever, what have you.
Right.
So I feel this is my
Now,
thing.
before you,
I
now
have
you
a
sound very passionate, caller. Before you finish, I want to make sure
I
you
am
understand.
very much so.
I want to make sure you understand when I was talking about the church and the community.
No,
I was not. I was not.
My point isn't really towards the church no more. I'm really gearing towards the persons who don't regulate themselves.
Right, and I was talking about the church in the Haitian community. I was talking about the churches in the Haitian community about how are they doing their part in informing and in making sure they understand what the process and the procedures are.
Okay,
that's what
I grew up in Andres.
Okay, go ahead.
And we always had immigrants come in. The first point, we have a Haitian church in Andres.
Right.
Or Haitian pastor.
Right.
They would normally go to him because normally they would need translators or what have you.
Right.
They would normally, that's my point. They would always reach out to that community. But this is my thing.
Mm-hmm.
In order for my son to get into the U.S., I had to get certain documents for him to go there.
Right.
If you're in a country and this is the requirement that in order for you to become 18, regardless of your fear of being deported or what have you, you still have a right. You still have a legal right to go and apply. And this has been a problem with and I really like Pastor Monkey say you have to be real about this. Like you can't take this personal because like for me I'm a Bahamian.
Right.
So if I decide to move to another country, I have to abide by what their rules are.
Right.
And they have been sliding by for so long. If we really want to get real about this, if you look at the villages, they really don't make that much contribution other than to the food stores. I went in one of those and I could not believe that's a mini city in our city. So I am very much, we really need to take this mindset. The Christian thing is to do, it's to assist them along their way and send them back. Honestly, we cannot, it's a lot this country takes on. If we want to be real, our children might have problems.
Right.
So it's a passionate situation for me, and I really think this right now needs to be addressed properly, and send a message that hey, we will help you, but we will help you in your country. That's my 5 cents on it.
No, I hear you. That's but 87 cents, Peggy. That ain't no 5 cents.
My name is Naoshi. I'm the thing.
I apologize.
Yeah.
I apologize.
You horrible calling people got my name. Okay. So I really this is something where you have to, like Pastor Monta say, you have to take feelings out of this and we have to look at this real. Like it has to be a real conversation. No feelings.
Yeah. No, I with
So
you.
good afternoon.
Thank you,
Bless
Colin.
you, bless you, honey.
Thank you, Nayoshi. Wow, that's a few mouthfuls right there.
Yeah.
Let me get Jody in here. Jody says, I think you've been doing a fantastic job at empowering every member of your church to be and do, Pastor Denczil, specific to our Haitian brothers and sisters in the need to navigate the immigration process. Just as we do for others to get bank accounts, employment, and any other issues, we can network for this as well. Bishop Monka, you made a valid, see there? Bishop Monka, huh? You made a valid point with their entitlement in the Haitian community. They do it all over the world. They need to be humble to humble themselves.
Right.
Anywhere you go, they are an issue. Oh boy. They feel as though they were the first black nation to gain independence some 200 plus years ago. Everyone owes them something. Yes, Bahamians migrate to other nations like the US, Canada, UK, etc., but we did it the right way, no matter how long it takes to get in these countries. There is some truth there, as there's in most statements, but it ain't all the way true now.
What's that?
Number one, we got a lot of Bahamians doing a lot of darkness. It's a places.
But
Hold on. There are communities of persons in the US. So and let's do that first. So I don't like talking down on what they did, because there are some bad apples, but there's some good apples too. All right. So I don't want bunch them up like that. I don't think that's fair to bunch them up and then make the comparison to us that we don't do this. Because we do. We have tons of persons. Every Bahamian family have some family member who over in the US who can't come back home.
Right.
Because they over there and they went there on a tourist visa and he never come back. So I don't want that comparison, though we have not done the same thing. We do things legally and we saw this and that and the other. To me, that lends to that whole superior mindset that we're better than that. But I definitely don't knock the entitlement thing. I don't knock it. But I remember I added to the equation to say, here is what may have contributed to some of it.
And I think that's her point. It's the spirit of what she's saying. What she is saying is, we have to go through the ropes and I don't think she's suggesting, because I'm sure she knows that there are Bahamians who do the same.
Right.
But our attitude and our spirit, we recognize we are illegally, so there's some things we got to do. Yeah. I don't know if we got this attitude when we get there that some exhibit here. I don't think Bahamians function that way.
But some of the general sentiment.
No, I understand you have to put it in context, but I think the spirit of it.
That's the problem. I agree with the spirit of it. Anywhere you go, they are an issue.
Oh no, not that part.
I'm talking about that's the spirit of it.
I'm talking about the part about Bahamians and what Bahamians are. Yes, they may go there illegally, but they know they're illegal, so they operate a certain way.
Yeah, and they stay under the radar.
You better believe that. They're robbing with Uncle Sam.
Well, I think Uncle Sam yields a bigger gun than we do here.
Definitely.
That's another challenge.
Definitely.
It's a bigger gun
than we have the ability to do here.
Possibly, yeah.
No. Reality.
Christoph said I could go with the caller, Bishop. Real talk. The legal immigration situation is a serious thing, and I feel that there are people that's here isn't telling them how to go about it the right way. That's where I start off, Alexandria. That's my point. That in that community, are they telling them? Because again, I'm naive, but my thought is if you apply, I think at the age of 18, that you submit your information in, and that's the child. I'm not talking about the parent thing.
Right.
I'm talking about this generation that's coming up that we're perpetuating this issue, where so many of them who were born here, and there's a process by which they can apply.
Right.
And I don't know how the approval
They obviously
works.
don't go to church and get involved in the community stuff, because I promise you, there's a strong community here that aids and helps people of that community. They have to migrate toward it because it is available.
Yeah.
It ain't my job to try and make your life work.
Right. If you ain't coming to help it.
Good Christ, I provide the opportunity. It's just like church.
Yeah.
The opportunity is here. Come take advantage of it.
Yeah. We have more Haitian Bahamians than natural Bahamians in this country.
Wow.
So this will never be resolved.
Wow.
Too much ties. Oh, Lord. I understand the caller's point of view, but there's a level of privilege that we as Bahamians have because of our elevated economic state compared to Haiti.
Very true statement.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you, Toya.
Very true statement.
And let me also make this point too. Yes, they were the first to gain independence, and I always remember when I read the document about how they opened their borders to all the other persons from the African diaspora, all the persons that were anywhere in the Caribbean, come to Haiti.
Oh yeah.
Just come.
Okay.
So it's just the irony that now things have turned on the other side, and they're the ones who are being treated in the manner they've been treated when they opened their doors 200-something years ago. Say, come.
I've been doing
But-
teaching for weeks, and this is not to suggest anything.
Right.
Everybody don't do the right thing for the right reasons, because there's a scripture that says, "What you sow, you should reap."
Right.
And sometimes when people do so and don't reap, you got to ask.
Motivate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm not suggesting that's the case.
Sure.
But
sure.
if we believe the Bible to be true,
Mhm.
and what you sow, you reap. In cases where I see people sow something and didn't reap it, I ask.
What happened?
Yeah.
What happened?
Yeah.
Yeah. Alexandria says yes, but they're too complacent until it's a problem.
It's real.
Yeah, I wish I could have some persons call from that community to help to give us some perspective.
Right.
I like I said, I've had some experience, and it's frustrating for
Yeah,
me
it is.
to the level of ignorance.
Mhm.
The level of ignorance is just frustrating.
And then the process ain't simple either now. For some of them trying to apply.
but they should at least know it.
Yes. Yes.
You should at least
and
know.
they should know it and do it, regardless of how difficult it is. But I think we could help in that regard too.
I think let's go from millennials and down of Haitian descent, born here in the country.
Mhm.
They should have on them or at their reach
Right.
their parents' documents, whatever it is.
Yes. Yes.
Their documents. When I talk about documents, I mean whatever affidavit they got, birth certificate, christening card. I think there's something called a born certificate that they get. To me, these things should be. If you ask for them, you should be able to pull them up right away.
I think sometimes, Bishop, you speaking from your elevated kind of little Christian perspective.
No, because I didn't deal with a lot.
But I don't know if it's that simple. They should.
No, a lot of them have it, but don't even gather it.
Oh,
Listen
yeah,
to
but
me.
I'm saying though,
That's-
where they are and the way they're, and I'm not trying to take
No.
responsibility from them.
I had to meet the highs and the lows. I had to meet some people way down, and they have those things because they know we can need this. To me, that's standard. That's SOP, man. That's standard operating procedure. How do you not have these things? Shani, listen, Bishop Shirami now. Go ahead, Rami Shani. These people come here to take over, sir. Why I said that is because to my 3 children, they have 6 and 9. The government need to do something about this ASAP.
Shani, play it.
Shani, what you do? You would sterilize them, Shani? What you would do? We need to have more church, Shani. Lord God. Are we praying for the nation of Haiti beyond earthquakes and hurricanes? Is prayer for righteous government or wherever else the Lord may lead what the Bahamian church can do? Definitely something that we can do. How intentional we are in that, I don't know.
I mean, it's a noble thing and a good thing, but when you got a million issues of your own, I don't know if that's a priority.
That's one of our issues.
I agree, but do we see that as a issue of priority? Maybe we do. I'm just saying, do we see it as
I
such?
think that's Jody's point. Jody said that's actually a Bahamian issue.
Well,
That's the issue of Bahamian priority.
at the end of the day, bro, I can promise you, Bahamians got a lot of things they bring about. And I sure that's on the top of their list. And maybe we need to consider it.
That's what Jody said.
Yeah.
Toya say, I've realized that if we look at the economic state of any country that has swaths of citizens that would risk death together, we must look deeper than how it affects us alone. I hear you. Send these people home before we become the lady. Shani again. Shani ain't back.
I know who we ain't put in immigration.
No.
You ain't getting immigration.
No, Shani. I'll write it in. No.
No.
Don't put it there. Don't
Put it in social services.
Yeah. I ain't even know because then she may find out their bases and then still ship them out. She'd be asking for passport.
National security.
Yeah.
Or customs.
Frankie, they send them back.
Oh, Lord.
The reason some of them application is difficult because 1, some didn't born in the hospital. 2, their parents never registered their births. 3, some just simply don't understand. 4, the process is difficult for most. I got
real.
it. I got
That's
it.
real.
I got it. Tabitha says, you sending your cousin back? Trust me, because half of us think we Bahamians and we
Oh boy. Oh boy.
That's what. That's what.
Wow.
Sending your family back.
Wow.
That's what.
Wow.
Tabitha, you was making a lot of comments on there, boy, but you just nailed one
That's
just
a
now.
nail. You nailed that one.
You nailed that one,
Yes,
Tabitha.
indeed.
You send back your family.
Wow.
Lord
It's
God.
a complex issue, you know.
Shani say, that means don't put an immigration.
No.
Shani, we know better. We know better than that. No, this thing tie up, this thing twist up.
That's a complex issue.
It's very, very complex.
So I think we really do. I say this in ignorance because I don't know enough about how the system is structured and formatted. But I think that'll be a really good place to start. Because if it is as big of an issue as it is, do we need to invest in how we deal with the system to try to bring some resolution to this?
When is it deal with somebody, man? From what standpoint?
Like, how do we regularize people and all these different things? Because the hostility is there as well. I can't get a job. I basically can't have a life. So it leads to other antisocial ills and all these different things. So the whole system of to make these people feel free to come, and then we have to have a conversation, we have to deport you. But it's in the humane way. However we deal with it, it needs to be dealt with. And
those that come illegally, obviously, those that we catch, of course, we repatriate them.
right.
Those, and I know what's wrong is wrong. All right. I think as Adrian Franz who says, you can't come through the back door but one front door privilege.
Wow.
Something of that nature.
Wow.
Right. And I get it. What do we do? Personally, I feel that for those who are here, this is my personal thing. This is no policy. This is Denczil Roll's personal view. Those that are being born here, who this all they know, I say, man, regularize them. That's my personal thing. They hear, they put in a loaded system. Yeah, they are. And they will continue to do so.
And I think it would be more adverse to us if we don't.
That's what I'm thinking.
Because Haiti ain't taking them.
No.
So it just becomes a burden, and they anti everything.
And they are here. They're all the way integrated.
Yep.
In every other element of our society. Every other element. I say that's what we should do with that crew. Now, that's the ones born here. Now, with the question when you do that, what about the ones who've been here 30, 40 years? I don't know. Do you have a grandfather clause for a certain period of time? I don't know.
And let's say, okay, everyone born here from this date back, we legalize them. Should we continue to do that? Or should we at some point say, something, you all take advantage of the system, everybody born as of this date, after we would have backlogged this, we gotta report. Should we do something like that?
Probably makes sense.
Because people take advantage of it.
Yeah.
So I think we need to really balance our approach in that. And I think we have to make some tough decisions.
But whenever we talk about this, Tilos will be smile. Tilos say, y'all jump on these Haitians and Jamaicans. Tilos say, I ain't never cut a Chinese head. I ain't never cut a Philippines head.
Right.
He said, them, they feed my family. He said,
who, the Haitians?
Yeah. He says, I cut hundreds of them in my barbershop. He said, they have to feed my family.
Good, I guess they say, find somebody else to cut.
Tito's point is that we're so focused on that crew.
Right.
And the talk that they don't
contribute.
He said that's fallacy. He said their contributions is large.
Right.
He says, but them other folks who you don't see when they're there, they don't be in the newspaper.
Right. They more organized.
We don't know where they bury the people. We don't know how they do what they do, but we don't make a fuss about them. They okay.
And that's the way of the world.
Yeah.
That's just and that's the reality in just about every facet of life.
Yeah.
If you under the radar, you really get away.
But they even under the radar though.
No, right. Obviously they doing it in such a way that they ain't grabbing our attention because they ain't living in.
I think the radar on this. Move.
No. Y'all be real.
Go ahead.
They ain't squatting on my land. They ain't building these little communities and so forth and so on that could lead to sicknesses and all. There's a number of different reasons as to why that community draw attention and others don't. Now, I ain't saying that gives us.
All I can say is this.
Yeah.
You could take me to a shanty town and you could show me them 3, 4, 5 houses, and you show me that boy is 50 Haitians in there. There are some buildings in this country.
Right.
I don't know this for fact, but I presume that there are some buildings in this country with some upstairs units upstairs that if you open some of them doors, you may find the same amount.
But you have to presume that is infringing on in your backyard and all these different things. That's the problem Bahamians have. You have to presume that. They organize.
We cool with them upstairs.
Man, we understand realities of life, because we in America doing some of these same things. So all we saying is
48 of them in their 2-bedroom apartment. We worry that.
Hey,
stay inside.
Stay inside. And they sensible enough to know we better stay inside. But if you go, because we doing it too in America and other places, but we trying to do it in a way whereby we ain't being a nuisance to nobody, so that we don't get pushed around. And I think not. And I don't think it's majority of people in that community, but some people in that community have made it difficult for others of that community.
Now, when it comes to stuff like the shanty towns, whatever the case is, I'm from that industry. That can't happen. You can't let that happen.
No.
I'm in the construction industry.
No.
You can't do that.
No.
And so we can't continue to dance around that issue. Because if we love them, we can't let them stay like that.
You don't have a village.
Let me read the walk out. Let me get it. See, that's why you can't be controlling the controls.
Because I go, because Shannon and got me laughing.
What are we talking about today? The ones born here or the ones coming by both? Both. Both.
Right.
Talking about both of them, Pasha. Yes, Pastor, I agree. Those who born here or was here from 1973 and have tried to apply for some status, give them their papers, but the rest needs to be deported. Pastor Brad, my brother, good to see you, man. I know you're still dealing with the loss of your mom, man. Praying for you. Pastor Brad, there's no simple nor easy solution.
True.
Very absolutely. True. Brother Wells says, so true. The Chinese does obey the protocol. They don't have a village.
2-bedroom apartment, 10 of them living in there and sending all
2-bedroom apartment, 10 of them. Now who you done now? You done the Chinese, you done the Chinese.
The Chinese, they live in there.
He said, sorry, Pastor Bogus, stay focused, I need you.
Oh, Father.
Oh, my goodness. But
Brad said it correctly. It ain't no easy way to deal with this situation, but I think we need to have a real conversation about it and do some tough things, man. And while we're doing that, do like Jody say, pray for Haiti. Because the situation there, and the reality is this: if I was in their position, I would have been right in the Bahamas too, trying to find some way of life to help myself. But, you can't be here trying to do that and rowdy and no.
Right.
No. But I like I said, some have made it difficult for others because I've met some wonderful Haitian people.
Amazing.
Wonderful.
Bless you, Brad. I think we should be talking about what is the government doing to move the regularization process.
Very good. Totally agree.
Very, very good point. Because so many. I remember how much our listenership is. So I gotta be careful what I say, how I say what I say. We can't get rid of all of them. This mindset we can get rid of all of them, ship them all of them. That's not gonna happen. So let's kill that. That's not gonna happen. As relates to those born since 73 and born yet, they had data about a cutoff date. Yeah, I kind of say, yeah. What do we do? What about the grandfather clause, like I mentioned? Those, 10, 15 years they've been here, 20 years, or still get them out?
No,
25 years.
I mean,
that's the grandfather
I think we need to consider that. and how we deal with that, because you got to be careful with that part. I mean, although they came here legal, they didn't been here 30 years, man.
And that's what I'm saying. I'm saying, what's that cutoff point? Those
How far back you go?
Yeah, how far back you go. Those who've been here 5 years, man, to me.
Yeah, you go. You go.
10 years, probably as well. But what is that cutoff for the grandfather clause?
I think you need to look at a number of things to consider that. Things that I have no data on to consider that.
Let me give an argument. I know Shani can agree with. Shani can agree with this. I promise you. Shani can say, if you do you're born here, we get you in.
Right.
And you do your grandfather clause for 25 years and over. Those who don't fit in those categories, they can just hide in them places. So you can't get rid of them no matter. Because you can cover so many.
That they have some, because that's their family and all those things.
So that problem solved.
Yeah.
Because they're here and they're living. They surviving, somehow they surviving. So now if you add this thing now, I got 7 cousins straight, I got my mom straight, and my little nephew. I can make this thing work now. We can be all right.
Well, I mean, that may be a reality, but something has to be done. And you may not, like you say, you may not solve the whole issue. This will be us for the rest of our time on earth.
Yeah.
But at some point, though, you have to do something like real and intentional and significant to change the narrative and the direction in which this is going. Somebody got to do something.
And it got to be a hard call, and you got to stay by your call.
It got to be a hard call.
It's going to be hard. People can get mad at you, whatever the case is, but you got to stay by your guns.
And let me ask you this. This may be far-fetched. Is there anything we can do as a country for those people after we send them back? Like, this may be far-fetched and they may cuss me for this, to provide some kind of support to help them settle back in. They have been here a while. We're sending them back to keep them there and help with the situation. Is it possible that maybe get some support from, I don't know, humanitarian places or so? Here's a program the Bahamas is trying to put in place for people we are repatriating who have been here for a while, and we want to make it as comfortable. We are hospitable people. You got a lot of billions of dollars all around the world just sitting in accounts, people giving things away because they're trying to get rid of so much money. Can we channel some of that toward this effort? And I don't know, build little Bahamas and Haiti.
You talking like a pastor.
But that can never happen at political level.
You talking like a pastor. I mean, that is so pastoral just now. That's just good stuff right there. That's making sure when you get married, the church can buy at least a microwave.
Hey, man, you better believe it.
The church can get you straight by.
Yeah, man.
Especially, and if you leave in the church and you find your husband, you're going, we can buy you something. And we can send the ladies straight to the shower.
Sure. Yes.
That's big right there, boy.
Yes, I know it's far-fetched, but could we do it? And we could get help. Because there are a lot of humanitarian things available.
Put on the church.
What's that?
Church, you'll handle that. Y'all think...
And maybe I would agree that the church take a leading role in that, so it won't be political, but it has to have some political component, because I'm thinking about an environment where they go back and this little Bahamas there, like we thinking kingdom, we expanding territory.
So you want to build little Bahamas in Haiti.
And I think in the long term it help us.
Hold on, man.
So let them run to Little Haiti, to Little Bahamas in Haiti before running here.
You will kind of colonize.
That's what you're basically. That's basically it.
Haiti.
That's basically it in some sense.
What you're saying is, I grow in this idea.
Yeah.
That the Bahamas government go down to Haiti.
With some agreement with the Haitian government.
And say, listen, we want this 2,000
acres. Yes.
And with this 2,000 acres, we can build one little city.
Yes.
We can put one bamboo down there.
Yes. And maybe get other countries where they migrating to, all them chipping. Y'all let's do something.
And we put little Bahamian things. You can put a little strong market.
I don't know about all that.
I just grow your little part. When there's no vision, the people perish. Let's grow this vision. So let's get on let's go up to 5,000 acres,
right,
and we create little Bahamas in Haiti. We put all kind of Bahamian things in there. You got all kind of stuff going on there. I like it.
You like it? We ain't spending our money now. We're trying to get humanitarian.
I don't even care if we spend our money.
What? We ain't got to get money.
I think we can make money from it.
See, now you talking
No,
monetizing
I mean,
it.
you got me thinking.
Yeah. You need ideas. Some could happen.
Malika. See your cousin, Malika.
I don't know.
I like, honestly, I know you talk. I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
We go there. We take what however we do it with that government. We want 5,000 acres.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Yeah.
And
Give us it.
And we
helping you all.
we
And
secure that. That could be. We first thing we can do. The first order of business, we can hire Donald Trump to get build a wall around that. That's the first thing we gotta do. We gotta call former President Trump. We said, Trump,
you'll build it.
listen, this is the big one. You know that one, that last wall you built?
That was huge.
That was
Huge.
hundreds and hundreds. Huge. It was huge. That was huge. We don't need that huge wall.
No.
We just want to lock down our 5,000 acres.
Right.
Trump, I need you to build me one wall around that.
Right.
And we get one Trump kind of wall around
Yeah,
that.
man.
So that's our first order of business.
Yes.
Get that wall up and running.
Right. Cater community.
Gated community. You know? I like it. I like it, boy. Now, that's a big thinking right there.
Yeah, and I think you could use international money, and people there are a lot of people who would fund something like that. Malika here ain't good, you know. Malika. But I don't think Jermaine want to go.
Oh my God. You know, when we moved into CH Reeves and we made the investment
Right. Yes.
in CH Reeves,
Yes.
people said, y'all are silly. Why in the world would you spend money in this place? Get some broke up chairs. Don't carry all good chairs in there, all cloth chairs, all cushion chairs. Don't carry them in there. Get some little tin chairs, some plastic chairs, this and that. Don't invest. Don't put no speakers in there. There are about 2 or 3 chairs that have some. There's but 2 or 3 chairs of the 200 plus, almost over 200 chairs we have there that are damaged in the time we've been there. There have been, couple speaker wires here and there. There's some wear and tear, whatever the case is. But for the most part, the persons go into there and they're proud of it. They honor it and they treat it with pride. They treat that place, that space that is in that school, because it's still their school.
Sure.
They cherish it. So if we as a nation, everybody doing it to us,
Right.
why don't we start doing it?
Yes, sir. And we a blessed nation.
Why don't we go that? Boy, you say that, but you hitting on something right there. Boy. This thing's starting to grow on me now.
We can make you the minister of
No, I'm busy. I would love something to do. That by side, but I do my side, but
or at least the advisor then.
I do my side. But, you put one little downscale Atlantis down there.
Wow.
Well, little 150 ropes.
Wow.
No big Atlantis.
Come visit
Yeah.
the Bahamas in 80.
And you create this.
I guess you could do some dredging. Do get some little
Yeah. No, for real, you can do all that.
Little luck, Bahamian luck.
You could do
Tropical
all
luck.
of that.
Your engineering mind going now.
I go on. I didn't all the way in there. I did all the way in. The door is yes, Bishop Monka. Little Bahamas in Haiti is supported by international funds. Doesn't say, I think instead of Bank of the Bahamas in America, one should have been down in Haiti, so when they are sending funds back home, we can get something from it too. That's a very valid point. We have Bank of the Bahamas in the States.
Wow.
Why isn't there one in Haiti?
Wow.
Brilliant.
Wow.
I like it.
I'm gonna get trouble. So bank, where the black 80. Cooper's Terrace 80.
That's what. That's what. Now, you think that would have the effect of diverting attention?
What's that?
Diverting attention away from coming here to actually go in there?
What you mean?
If we do something like that.
No, I don't think so.
Did someone come here?
Yeah, but what? To come to get the real taste of the Bahamas? I mean, you'll go
So
to
all this
America.
big vision being accomplished nothing?
No, man. People still could come here and people still will go there.
No, I know, but I don't. But actually, I don't. But the migration problem. Do we think?
Oh, I
will
thought
help?
you meant. Oh, yes, man.
No, I want no tourist, man. I want no tourist. I don't. But I don't.
Now, only so many people that can be able to house, and we can't do too much of that unless we benefit in somehow, and so it could be sustainable. But I think I don't know. I think it should be like a one and done. Like this the big thing because it's like a hand in hand thing. On the one hand, we sending back a whole slew of people because we're making a decision here that everybody born at a certain time. You gotta go back and what we doing locally, we making a decision. But here's how we supporting that decision. For this group, we can try to create something in Haiti that accommodates them so they don't need to be coming back here. So anybody else come, listen now, we can deal with y'all a little rough. Because we done do all we could at this point to help the situation. We can't smile with y'all now.
I remember there was I haven't heard about, but I've not been as engaged in the business community as I was. But there was a big push to get in Bahamian professionals to open up branches and businesses in Haiti.
Really?
I remember sort of being right before I started pastoring. There was a lot of conversation about that.
Right.
And the company I was with was even looking at that as
the
well.
opportunity is really good.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And there are some entrepreneurs here in this country that have done outlets in Haiti. As keyword outlets, you think about it, it'll hit you soon. And they're doing very well.
Really?
Yeah. They're doing very well with their outlets.
So opportunities are there and available.
But it is the beautiful Bahama land. Child, lady, that B.O.B. in the States only there. That's useless to the people. I thought they closed that. Oh, Jesus. Beautiful Bahama land. Boy, we are right in this country. Okay, I just got one text to go against what I said earlier. I can stay with that.
That goes against what you said?
Yeah. But I'll show you later. You can bust up laughing.
Sure.
There's a lot. Now, someone sent me a personal text about the things with the Haitians, and I don't know if this for me to read or not. So let me know, please, if I'm to read this, and let me know. Other than that, I can't do it. Yeah. Anyway, I mean, we didn't come here planning to deal with this illegal immigration.
Not at all.
Thing, but I think we had a good dialogue on it.
Yeah.
I don't know the fix. I don't know. I don't know the fix, but it's a vexing situation.
Because I mean, I think do you get the sense of, as a country, we are intentionally, deliberately doing all we can to fix? Do you have that impression? Not that it's not happening. Do you have that impression? See, I think that's a problem. Like I don't get this sense of there's a major aggressive plan, other than we breaking down your Johnny Dan or stuff, but a major aggressive plan to resolve the issue. I don't have that. Maybe there's somewhere, there is somewhere, but I don't get that impression. So I think we keep having the problem because we really ain't deliberate about it. We intentional about it.
I had I told a story on there before, the young man that I was trying to help and got him a job, got him safe off the streets, and got him an interview, and they liked him. So helped him. We bought him a uniform. I told a story before. We bought him a uniform. We gave him the money to get his picture taken, to get the ID for the job. And he was so excited. He went there on the interview, and they told him to do one or two other things. And when he went back, and they found out that he was of Haitian descent, this boy sat in my office and just started crying because he didn't have the documents that he needed to have.
Wow.
And then he said to me, well, Pastor, thanks a lot.
Wow.
I guess back to the streets.
That knocked the wind out of you.
Man, that thing had me in
Yeah,
tears
that
that
knocked
day.
the wind out of you. Yeah.
Dude said, I going back to what I know.
Wow.
This ain't working out.
Wow.
And thank God we were able to, over time, get him back in. Thank God that God brought that thing around. But that thing tore me apart, man. How real that is. So then the system is a problem too. Yeah.
The system is a problem.
And he's born here this morning, but I don't know nothing but Haiti.
Right. Right.
Um,
Is he regularized yet?
no, but I think he is on his way.
Okay.
I think he's now in the system now.
Yeah, but see, we have to make sure the system is working at its best.
I wonder if when because they all go to our government schools.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I it's not the job of the Ministry of Education or the school system to be doing the work of immigration. I understand that.
Right.
But
I mean, they should all work in tandem, eh?
But I wondering though. That's what I'm saying. I wondering.
I mean, they
and
sit
I
in
know,
one cabinet.
but I know they can say though.
Yeah.
I don't. But the schools themselves, the
Right.
schools say we didn't understaff.
Right.
So we ain't get a chance to monitor. We ain't get time to monitor that kind of stuff.
Well,
But I'm
then
wondering
immigration should be making sure there's some kind of more. I think that because these decisions have to be made at an executive level, so I think there should be when we in the room talking, then I see where these ministries intertwine, and I say we make a conclusion. We need to have somebody there that does this. I think it's that big of a deal for us to do it. But if we keep minimizing these major issues, they're gonna be with us for generations, and that's why we can't. Even if we never resolve it to 100%, well, we got to make some progress on the matter.
Make a dent in it.
Yeah,
somehow.
man, it ain't no progress.
Because back to this idea of them not knowing procedures, they went through our entire school system at some point, shouldn't
Exactly.
they? Like
Exactly.
we pull them in a room somewhere.
Exactly.
And we I mean they're there every day. We know they're there.
Mhm.
So do we not just pull them aside? Let's be having a session just for y'all.
Right. Right.
Because we know who they are.
Right.
We know they're there. I mean, I know you don't want to discriminate this and that, but they did it. I mean, we're trying to help
We
them.
try to
We're
help
empower
them. This actually helps them.
You
Yeah.
know, so we not gather them together and have real conversations with them.
So my concern would be this, right? Why me and you sitting here on a radio show as pastors
Right.
having this conversation? What conversation are the people in the system having?
I know.
See, and I'm not saying they're not doing anything. I'm trying to figure out why the conversation isn't going this far. That's why I started talking about earlier when it comes to Christian responsibility and what you could do and so forth. Is there even a will? Because even if I can't help you, I should at least be willing to.
Yeah.
I should have at least have the heart to. Do we have a will to go to the extent we need to? And in so doing, we help ourselves. This ain't like us doing nothing for them per se.
Right.
We really helping ourselves on the back end.
Right. This was.
Yeah, okay. So is the mindset broad enough? Is the conversation broad enough to actually bring some real significant change? Or if not, it's a waste of time. Because the church could do all it want to do, and all we can be left with is charity, which don't really resolve the issue.
Sure.
You see? Because they really ready to have the real conversation that we need to be having with them. And the church ain't no charity.
No.
We kingdom people who here to shine light. Light don't charity darkness. Light just change it. So when I have a conversation about this, don't just tell me, well, you all feed them. We are not here for feeding programs.
Right.
We are here to be light.
Right.
Something changes when light shines.
Come on.
So if I don't have no, that kind of conversation, if I can get involved, I need to be able to have a conversation on the political level with the people who actually make the decision that can make things happen. And I think that's where even the church needs to now be going push back. Don't just be there feeding.
Yeah.
And there are things that needs to be done that can be done to bring resolution. And we just here like we some turn feeding agency. That's not our job.
And there are systemic issues.
Yes.
And we've been called to speak to systems.
Indeed.
We've been called to speak to
Indeed.
systems. Yeah. It's we feel the brunt of it.
Of course.
We feel the weight of it. We
course.
feel it heavily.
Of course.
Anyway, I may have a sit down session soon with those in my church. I may do something like that just to get some more information, so we can, I don't know, how we can make some contributions on a higher level.
Right.
Because like you said, we talk about it and it goes up and then comes back down. How serious are we about this?
Yes, sir.
Do we realize the implications thereof?
Right.
The country now, there's this false narrative that almost like every murder that happened in the country is Asians.
Right.
You know, because they're violent, we ain't violent. You know, stop that.
But we really ain't violent now. We missed they row and carry on. We ain't that violent. And I'm not saying it's them. I just trying to tell you, but when you talk about the spirit of Bohemians, We can row you out and cuss you out. Man, to the point of what I saying.
So who these people is?
I have no answer for that. I can tell you. But
They be him.
okay.
Smith and Johnson.
Okay, that's fine.
Brown.
Yeah.
Skip Roll.
Okay, you stay right there.
Yeah.
You stay right there.
Munker.
All guys. Yeah.
Munker.
Let me say something, bro. Our spirit, our Bahamian spirit, that ain't us. Now we may get more punch
I
out.
have heard that false narrative.
We don't like cutlass.
You get with Shadi.
I ain't gonna shot him.
Well, you and Shadi jamming all day. You and Shadi jamming all day.
Bro, I understand. Now watch this. Now you know, sometimes a culture could come in and create an environment that influences what it meant. I just saying to you, the Bahamian spirit, bro.
Shani, I know you agree, Pastor Mark. You had to type that.
No, she had to type that.
I don't want to type that. I know you agree. We all know you agree with Pastor Mark.
No, but at the end of the day, bro, I telling you now, I do not know. I talking to Denczil and Antonio rolls it near. I tell people that Denczil is a gentle giant. I would not like to see somebody piss Denczil off to the point he run hot. That person might as well make their peace with their maker.
And that's what's in all of us.
It there, but it don't come out in us like that. Because I promise you had enough issue. I give you enough reasons to run all the way up the screen. And our spirit, that ain't our spirit. We can row, we can carry on, we can gossip about you and talk about you bad, and then when you come in our face, we smile. That's Bahamian.
That's summer.
We hypocritical? No, boy.
That's summer.
All right, and most us. So how does the spirit of a nation become violent?
Ask Pastor Bunker.
Through influences. Just how, but for instance, aren't we very Americanized? Don't tell me other cultures cannot influence another nation. I mean, that's the biblical idea of kingdom, is another country influencing another. So, I mean, it's what happens every day.
Will not allow us to not take responsibility for how out of control we are.
We are out of control.
We are out of control.
But there's some things we are not, and I will not allow us to be defined by things we are not, bro. And I'm telling you, Bahamians are not violent people.
I have been stealing this quote from Prophet Lawrence Roll for years now.
Mm-hmm.
He was on an interview years ago. I think it was on 1240 at one of them stations.
Yeah.
And they was asking Bishop Prophet Lawrence Roll. They asked him whether he would sleep with a man. Some context like that. And his response was, nobody has the power to say what they wouldn't do.
Right.
Once the devil get a hold of them. He said, when the devil get a hold of you,
they do anything.
There's anything, there ain't nothing you wouldn't do.
It's a real answer.
He said, if you could do any sin, you could do every sin.
Yes, indeed.
We have a pride issue in this country.
Very true.
Major pride.
Very true. No doubt about it.
In this
now
country.
you talk about pride, we talking Bahamian.
We have an envy issue in this country.
That's Bahamian.
James 3:16 says, where there is envy and there is
every evil work.
Every evil work. Anybody do that to us? We do that to us.
But germane to us is not violence. We have to evolve to that.
Pride comes before the fall. Y'all know what the fall was?
No, fine.
The fall was all that violence and all that nonsense on the side of us.
Fine. We can change and become something we were not originally through influences.
It's just coming.
Yeah, but the dominant Bahamian spirit, we gonna lie on you, we gonna gossip about you, but that's how we kill you.
You never hear a thief is a lie is a thief. A thief is a murderer.
It's the potential of murder is there, but we never got that far. We never got that far.
I give you scripture, colloquialism, and Prophet Lawrence Roll. You still ain't getting me.
I give you scripture in here too. No, of course. Anything can be awakened in a person, like Bishop Roll said.
I don't like how. I know you're doing this, but I don't like there's a narrative out there that is attributing the spike in crime in the country, and there were 2 murders last night alone. I mean 2, I know, but maybe more. I know, but 2. That this ain't Bahamian. This ain't us.
Right.
But who is it then?
It's
Who
not
is?
us.
Who
And
is?
we need to be saying that if your son or daughter get off track, you need to say, this ain't the Holy Spirit.
Okay, good. Now, from that standpoint, I with you.
What you mean? It's only one standpoint.
But no,
That's the standpoint.
There's this failure to take responsibility
agree.
for our action.
No,
And that's
I totally agree with that.
That's what goes along.
totally
that's,
agree with
that's the narrative that I'm talking about. It's a false narrative.
Okay.
There's a false narrative that
Like
it
we ain't
ain't.
doing none of this.
Yeah, this ain't us.
Yeah, no. Oh, I got you what you say.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah, we are participating in a lot of this.
We are.
Yes. Oh, no.
That's the false narrative.
That's what you
the
meant.
false narrative is that this ain't Bahamians.
Oh, no. Yes, indeed. Yes, it's
It's
us.
Bahamians
Yes, indeed.
doing this.
And
Born,
even
bred, Ghanaian.
watch this. Even if we are only the conspirators, we involved in it. And I'm not saying that we are not doing it directly.
Right.
But I know for a fact Bahamians are definitely culpable.
Yeah, man.
But I'm
Come on.
saying it ain't the Bahamians.
You saying by identity this ain't us.
No, man, this ain't us.
I could, you know, you brought it to good close just now.
Yeah.
I could go to your close.
We could open on?
You can write it on. You can write it on. You can write it on. Vera says, I assume there's a violent spirit if there is a non-violent spirit. So, therefore, the non-violent spirit of a nation can become violent. That I just hear shaking my head.
This the tea talk, because I sure I get it. Come for some coffee.
Anyway,
No, I totally agree. Bahamians are involved. But I am saying at the core of who we are, this is not the country we are. And we need to start talking more about who we are so that our young people can have a sense of who they are and begin to remove themselves from who they are not.
but there are some things that we wasn't just who we are just randomly.
I agree. Totally agree.
That wasn't
There's some
just
things
a
that fed that.
Right. So
Yeah.
I don't want to. The behavior of the Bahamian was not just because we were Bahamian.
Right.
There were things that contributed to that behavior.
Of course.
That we
Just
have
like
let-
there are things that contribute to now this other behavior.
Right. So I mean, and I don't know if we can say these things are by nature or is it just because of what we did, the culture.
Yes,
Now we
I
use the word
agree.
Culture.
I agree.
The culture has changed. I have my cousin. I was down in Andrews the other day. He says, cuz, things I can remember, and he's about 10 years older than I am.
Right.
He says, cuz I remember on a
He
Sunday,
old then.
whatever. He say on a Sunday morning, he said there was a tractor head, the big blade for a backhoe,
Right.
big blade in the front of a yard. On a Sunday morning, he said someone pulled up to the door, was able to get whatever machine they used
Right.
to steal that tractor head, put that on the boat and left, and nobody saw him.
Wow.
And I paused. I can figure what he's saying.
Right.
He said, let him try it now on a Sunday morning. Everybody would see him. Because back when that was just being 25, 30 years ago, on Sunday morning, everybody's in church.
Church. Wow. That's the Bahamian spirit.
That there, because I was slow. I tried to figure what I said.
Yeah.
I'm missing this point. What's the point? He said, if someone tried that, he said, as big as that component was, they had to get machinery to come move that.
Right.
They was able to come
And they
on
planned
here
that because they
and-
know everybody was going to be in church.
Everybody's gonna be in church.
Yes, indeed.
He says, but now they weren't there
Yeah.
because everybody church empty.
Church empty.
And this is in Andrus.
Yeah.
You know, we used to say like, Lord, we like to go to family house because boy, they still got that spirit.
Right.
This is the true story I was told. This is a true story.
Even
in
on
Andrus.
the islands, they ain't in church.
Oh man. Rickeno, I go to family islands and I do we had enough for a little while. All those festivals we do the gospel night.
Yeah.
Man, you can throw a rock in there, no hit nobody.
What?
Gospel nights are empty. Most of the festivals have canceled gospel nights
What?
because it's pointless.
Wow.
Paying us to come over, paying our airfare.
Right. It's a loss.
And it ain't like we getting paid that much. We get paid hardly nothing.
Right.
But we did it just for us for ministry. It didn't cost us nothing.
Right.
So they'd cover our costs
Sure,
and somewhere to sleep and
sure.
food and whatever the case is. But we go over to them gospel nights. If and Marisha there in the studio, I think if we've ever gotten 200 people to a gospel night in any family island,
What?
it was packed to capacity. I don't know. I can say 200. That was the Heritage Festival because they had other things going on around the thing. So it was a little bit,
in Exuma?
but it still wasn't.
She said Exuma.
Exuma, yeah.
But Exuma still have a stronger church thing too.
But still, I mean, remember this, they still want to cut in Exuma too. Let me tell you why they want to cut in Exuma, because on the following night, multiplied that by about 50.
Wow.
People was
Black.
bleeding outside.
Wow.
Bleeding outside.
Wow.
So is
I think the church keep talking about where we are, but I think we almost like the immigration system. We ain't prepared to do nothing intentional and deliberate to change the direction in which we go in it. Your diet is your problem and you still eat the same things. That's where we are. And I think I said this to somebody else the other day. It's disappointing to see emerging preachers go the same route of our forefathers in that we still in the same competition. And there's and I think the harmony is worse in our generation than in our father, because although they was hypocritical in other senses, the denominations and so forth still brought them together and made them have to work together. And they were so prideful that they for optics, they was going to do it. I like you, but I come in anyway and I can be in, I can give my dues or do whatever. In our generation, bro, we just talk a good talk, but we doing bad. And I don't know if there's any way for the church to recapture its influence and strength if we don't stop trying to build our own kingdoms and really, really find a way to establish some common ground and come together. Because think about it, we used to talk about division back then, right? But there was far more united.
sure.
You could do a revival and people come from all kinds of different churches to come to your revival.
Yeah.
Now Life Worship Center, something, one or two people may trickle in.
Right.
But I think like talking about this whole immigration issue, talking about this whole thing on the islands, because you give me a reality check just now talking about the islands, because in my own mind, I thinking about it's still better in the islands. But when I think about it, when I go up there and do services and so forth, it has changed. And for the church to be suffering to that degree on the islands, we're in trouble. But what are we prepared to really do to shift this narrative and the way things going? I mean, anyway, I'll leave it at that.
You know what we do? This is what we do. Well, the Bible says in the last days there'll be a great falling away.
You're trying to justify it.
The Bible says there'll be a great falling away.
Church.
And says,
Church.
so
leave that alone.
And he can even shorten the days.
Don't bother with that. Leave that alone.
For us. Even the very elect, he will shorten the days for us, because even us, oh Lord,
oh my God.
That's what we that's what we falling back on. So you can't change this.
Right.
You can't.
Right.
You stand in the seashore, but you can't stop the tide. That's the way the tide.
You can't say it again. You can't stop.
You can stand by the seashore, but you can't stop the tide.
Wow, I love that.
But that's the mentality that we have.
Yeah.
And we are just perpetrating that mentality, So this is the last and evil days.
Evil days.
That's where we is. That old trying to figure out what your problem is. Y'all want to stay here. Y'all try to stay here, but it's time to go. Let's go. Let's get up
but
on
the
here.
assignment didn't change.
No, they ain't worry about that.
They ain't worry about all that. Just start
You
backing
see
up.
what time it is?
It's getting dark out
It's getting dark out
here.
here. Pack it up. Let's go. What you want to stay here for?
Right.
Nobody ready to go. Ready to go. Get right, change it. Let's get home.
World is not my home.
This world is my home.
I'm a
man.
glad pilgrim. I feel it.
I want us to get the conversation that Benny and Archbishop Duncan.
Oh, this is a recent conversation.
This is just
you telling me
I
about.
think that's
Okay. All right.
And they was talking about, and we ain't got no time for it because it's 7:00. About how we have left the cross out. So I thought he was talking about evangelism.
Yeah.
And that wasn't what he's talking about.
Yeah.
He's talking about suffering.
Yes.
And he said, and they
agree.
gone in
I
on
agree.
that.
I totally
He
agree.
says that it is, Benny's be so painful. Benny said he forced himself to listen to a preacher the other day.
You gotta send that to me. I know
Benny
it's hilarious.
said he forced it, and Benny was so serious.
Yeah, man.
He said he forced himself. He said,
Yeah, man.
I don't listen to these guys. I don't listen.
I can hear him now.
Benny said if I went through a divorce and was depressed and needed encouragement, okay. If I lost a few business deals and needed, know I can make it, I can listen to that. He said it was just hope.
Wow.
He said it was hope.
Right.
So that's not the gospel. He said he said this gospel that is just hope.
Wow.
He says, what about the victory of going through? And
Right.
I said,
Right.
what
Right.
about? He said, what about the cross?
Right. Right. Right.
He said, what they call in the gospel makes me want to puke.
Benny. And I agree with him. That's why the church is so weak, in my opinion.
Benny got to beating up on this, and Benny sitting down right there, leg crossing and dunking, and they just talk.
That's too late now. Benny done what in his 70s now. Too
Benny,
late.
but I don't care.
Yeah, he was bad then. He voiced now.
He said these preachers today, I cannot listen to them. I cannot listen because what they're preaching and it has no power.
Yes. No conviction. I totally agree. I totally agree.
Lord,
I had this very thought this morning, bro.
Uh-huh.
You know, thinking over a situation. That whole issue of deny yourself, take up your cross and follow me, put that out the window. And people confuse powerful teachings like rest.
Yeah.
Walking in rest and living in faith
Yeah.
to mean you
Right.
don't have to carry no cross.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Because we still have to carry our cross, but in the midst of it, there's a rest, there's a peace.
What's the attractiveness of rest? What's the message of rest if there is
no cross?
If there is no cross.
Yeah. Yeah.
The message of rest is that in the midst of carrying this cross,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
that there yet is a rest that
Yes,
we can
sir.
live in and
Yes,
function
sir.
in.
Yes, sir.
You know, the
Yes,
rest is the place that Jesus never left on the cross.
Exactly.
He was on the cross and in rest.
Exactly.
That's the idea of rest.
Wow.
It was that rest. He typified what rest really is
But
in his suffering.
But I don't know if a lot of people interpret walking by faith in that kind of light.
Right.
Because it means comfort. You don't do things supposed to go through nothing. You're
Right.
Right. Now I always teach that, Jesus ain't carried the cross all his life.
Right. That was good.
Yeah, so don't tell me I'm supposed to be suffering all my life. That ain't carried the cross all his life. Okay? Let's get that clear.
So take it across is really to a destination. Take it from here.
Yeah. You see, don't tell me now every day, because there's some people who teach extreme suffering.
Yeah.
Like they believe you're supposed to always be going through and have no kind of victory in your life. But I just think we do have to balance the message.
Yeah.
You know?
It's that. Anyway, we're not gonna be in a show.
Yeah.
It's the balance between the victory of the believer and the suffering of the believer. The believing that he is and he's a reward of them and diligently seek him. That faith puts me in the place of rest, according to Hebrews 3:19. If you and Raymond, you and suffering me, reconciling these concepts is it's a big reconcile.
Yeah. But like you said, right? The cross is, like you said, it's a destination from one place to the next.
Right.
It's getting you from one place to the next. So the destination ain't taking the cross somewhere. It's where the cross takes you, because it grows you. It matures you to another. Because now I have to learn to believe God on another level. So my faith is growing.
Yeah.
So the cross is really that internal work of the Holy Spirit on the inside of me, forming Christ in me. I got the truth in theory, but I need to now walk and live that out. When I get to that place, that's my victory.
That's good.
You see?
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
But I think, as Christ suffered in the flesh, arm yourself likewise. He that suffered cease from sin. So it's developing the character of God in you, even as you walk in victory through your faith.
I remember I used to preach that, that life is all about process and then progress.
Right.
And the Lord says, stop talking that foolishness.
Right.
He says, life is about progress in process.
And that's good. That's good.
He says, don't talk
That's
about
good.
you either in process or you're in progress.
Because all your life you're in process.
You're always in process.
But you should always be in
But the
progress.
life of the believer is always progress in process.
That's good stuff.
We
That's
should
good
always
stuff.
be progressing.
That's good stuff.
Anyway, everybody, thanks for tuning in. We go on, man. We go into Bible study. We go into prayer meeting. Prayer meeting tonight. Prayer meeting tonight. We go into prayer meeting tonight. Word of Life across from the Guardian there in Oaksfield. They are starting right now at Life at Sage Views. We are half an hour in. And so we invite you to join us for one of those sessions for prayer. You don't stream your prayer, do you?
No, I don't.
Yeah, we don't stream our prayer either. That's intentional with us as well. If you want to be a part of our prayer call, you can come in the Zoom room. We have a Zoom room available for those that want to join us in prayer. To get in the Zoom room, send a text to 825 Life. Send a text to 825 Life, and they will send the link to you so you can join us in the prayer room via Zoom tonight. The Lord bless you, keep you. We'll see you all next Monday. All right, take it easy.